At this juncture in India's history, uh, we are not only sending humans to the International Space Station, which may not be entirely our mission, but we are definitely building something for our own. There's a Bharatiya Antariksh Station coming up in the next decade. You would have the first of the human space flights, which is called as the Gaganyaan mission, to happen in the very near future, in the next five to 6 years. And uh, eventually, you would also build something known as the Samudrayaan, which is a similar capsule which would take humans to the depths of the ocean, some below 6,000 or 8,000 meters. All these technologies where you put a human in a shell, take them into outer space, take them to the depths of the ocean, are necessary to test the limits of technology. For instance, with Samudrayan, which is not the talk of the town right now, but it will soon be. You're building a titanium hull. You're building a titanium shell, and in that titanium shell, you're wanting to have three humans go to the depths of the ocean under tremendous pressure as you descend into the waters. Now, that kind of technology you won't build until you aim big, and India has started to aim big. And this particular mission, where Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla has been taken to the ISS, is a precursor, is a progenitor of what Indian astronauts would do uh, when they build their own space station. And since there is already a space station hung up there in the low Earth orbit in the form of ISS, we thought, why not test our potential, do some dry runs with the ISS till it's up there, because ISS also may be retired in the next few years. So, well before it retires, let's have an astronaut there and bring a lot of learnings from these few days where Subhanshu Shukla is up there. And these learnings would then be transferred onto our Gaganyaan and subsequently on how Bharatiya Antariksh Station would come to be.
So you spoke of the Gaganyaan, and that's exactly what everyone is really focused on, after this mission. And talk us through how, it's one thing to do it in a simulator, and we have had training in simulators in Russia, even trained with NASA. But it's quite something to actually be in space, and how that will help with India's Gaganyaan mission as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a doer's world. So those who execute it, those who bring all these technologies together, uh, make these technologies work in unison. The world belongs to them, and India wants to be there. And that's why when Gaganyaan was announced in 2018, uh, we already back then in 2018 had all the precursors of human space flight. Uh, you had a GSLV Mark III, which is right now known as the LVM-3. It had all the potential to be termed as human rated, a rocket that can carry humans. So we had that. We had done space capsule re-entry experiments. Uh, the first one was done in 2007, if I correctly remember. And thereafter, there was another experiment done just prior to the Gaganyaan announcement. So India always had the basic building blocks. It was just that we didn't have the political will to announce that we would send humans into outer space. And sending humans into outer space always happens in two stages. First, you conquer or you kind of gain experience in the low Earth orbit, which is the closest uh, orbital slot where you can send humans to and retrieve them back easily. And thereafter, you have uh, uh, other places, and the next you know most sought after place is the moon. There are other zones which are closer to the moon, but nobody has attempted that yet. There are Lagrange points. There are concepts where there is a zone between Earth and the moon where the gravities of both the bodies get cancelled, and whatever you keep in such zones, in such points, the spacecraft or the space station will get locked there, positioned there. It won't move at all. So you have those kind of positions available where you can send humans, but nobody has attempted that. So since there is a lot of experience in the world of taking humans to the moon, And since there is a lot of even greater experience of having human presence in low Earth orbit, that's what we are aiming for. We have learned from the Russians in all these years, all these 6 7 years. We've learned from the Americans. The French have accorded us with know-how of space medicine, and with all these learnings, we are now attempting to have our Indians go out in outer space entirely on their own. So, designing of a spacecraft, designing of human-rated astronautical avionics, which are fly-by-wire, ensuring that there is food available, ensuring there is life support system, ensuring there is hygiene systems in place. Hygiene systems are again part of life support. Those are in place. All this takes more than space science. It takes your astronauts come from the forces, armed forces. It takes a lot of biologists, people in gravitational biology, space biology, people in radiation biology, cancer specialists. Uh, it takes a whole village to ensure that 2 or 3 of your astronauts go somewhere, uh, even as close as the low Earth orbit, which is just 120 kilometers from where we are. Uh, it's not even the distance uh, as far as you and me are right now. You are 1,300 kilometers away from me, but astronauts would be just 100 kilometers on top of us. But that too is a big thing. And for a country like India, which was risk averse for a very long time, we were capital averse. We did not want to invest a lot in science and technology, which was not giving back immediate returns. Today, we are in a position where we are not in hurry. We are okay if the returns come maybe a decade or two later. And when we reach that mental stage, as a collective mental stage as a country, that is when we said that, okay, let's do Gaganyaan. So
Your
2018,
answer,
yeah, so
Your answer
2018
actually is
actually,
a great, sorry, your answer is actually a great segue for my next question, which
okay.
is, Axiom 4 mission, the cost is in the range of, say, 60 to $65 million. And, when you say that we were risk averse, we were not willing to put in this kind of investment earlier, there are naturally some who are asking that what is the kind of returns in terms of technical and strategic returns for India, given that we're making this heavy investment?
So the cost of the ticket that we paid for is massive. Okay. And if you talk to anybody who's worked on the Indian space program for the past, what, 3 4 5 decades, the senior people there up there, they would have uh, they would have butterflies in their stomach if they see that particular value. But if you ask to somebody even younger than me, maybe those who are in their late 20s, early 20s, they would see that, okay, well, 100 $150 million is nothing much, because mentally I'm in a zone, or we are in a zone, where we have a lot of comparisons. Firstly, we are spending a lot on infrastructure, we are spending a lot on education, we are spending a lot on cricket teams, we are spending a lot on you know travel, tourism, and all those leisure activities. You're building huge resorts in the country. Uh, you're doing a lot. And the ticket size of those investments easily run into a few hundreds of $1 million or even $1 billion scale. Uh, in the next few years, let's say by 2036, India is also bidding for the Olympics. So, so this generation is not averse to spending money. And as I told you, we are getting a lot of experiential learning, which is utmost necessary before we get uh, going with our space station, with our Gaganyaan. Because it would be unwise of us as a country and as a self assured country to have not availed the services that are available right now. The ISS is available right now. All the countries that are party to the ISS, all the six players, Europe, Japan, Russia, United States, uh, they all are in some way or the other our allies. Many of them are our strategic partners, and we've benefited from them. So at this point, we benefited from the Russians, who do not go well along with the Americans elsewhere. But when it comes to ISS, the partnership is headstrong. Okay, the French and the Russians also, they might be fighting a war in Ukraine. They might have their differences, but it is the ISS where the partnership still is really, great going. So space or human space flight has been envisioned a long time ago as a mechanism of detente. Even right now, it is a mechanism which is sort of taking off a lot of pressure from geopolitical pressure that exists between the countries. And since we are friends with many of them, we've leveraged these services that are available. They may be at a cost, but that experience will take us really far. Why I say so? Because let's say around 2047,